Jesus took with him Peter and John and James and went up to the mountain to pray. As he prayed, the aspect of his face was changed, and his clothing became brilliant as lightning. Suddenly, there were two men there talking to him. They were Moses and Elijah appearing in glory, and they were speaking of his passing, which he was to accomplish when he went to Jerusalem. Peter and his companions were heavy with sleep, but they kept awake and saw his glory and the two men standing with him. As these were leaving him, Peter said to Jesus, "Master, it's wonderful for us to be here. So let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He did not know what he was saying. As he spoke, a cloud came and covered them with shadow, and they went into the cloud, and the disciples were afraid. And a voice came from the cloud saying, "This is my son, the chosen one. Listen to him." And after the voice had spoken, Jesus was found alone. The disciples kept silence and at that time told no one what they had seen. Welcome to Mission Alive from the MSC Mission Office. My name's Sean Donovan. And when they went into the cloud, the disciples were afraid. In this gospel, the Transfiguration of the Lord, you will have noticed it's a reading of threes. There's lots of threes in this reading, and 3 represents the divine usually. Jesus took 3 companions, Peter, John, and James. 3 people appear in glory, Moses, Elijah, and Jesus, representing the law, the prophets, and the new covenant. Peter offers to make 3 tents or tabernacles. And sometimes missed as a 3, we have the Trinity, the 3 persons of God, represented by the voice of God the Father, the Son, the incarnate God, Jesus, and the Spirit of God, represented by the cloud. And when they went into the cloud, the disciples were afraid. Coming into the Spirit of God, they didn't experience joy, they had not wonder, not happiness, they were not emboldened, they were not excited. When they went into the cloud, the disciples were afraid. Why afraid? Well, cloud obscures, you can't see, it's the unknown. But this did not stop them going into the cloud. They were not fearless. They had the courage to enter into the Spirit despite the fear. And a quote which you're familiar with, it probably dates back to the Greeks. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to go on despite fear. And when they went into the cloud, the disciples were afraid. What does this mean for us on our mission today? In this gospel, the cloud represents the Holy Spirit. Do we experience the cloud where we are? Are we afraid? And do we have the courage to enter into that cloud, enter into that unknown in our world today? Mission can be a scary place. The risks are real, the outcomes unclear, the path obscure. But if we know that God is there, if we know that Jesus is there, and as was said in the gospel, we listen to him, if we act with the heart of Jesus, then this can give us the courage to go into that cloud, the courage to embrace the life in the Spirit. What will you do on your mission today? When they went into the cloud, the disciples were afraid.